Hi everyone, it's the Agnihotra lady here. I'm here at Shanti, Atlanta in Conyers, and it's time for this week's The Cosmic Clinic, Part 3 with the Agnihotra lady. Thanks for joining me this week. For anyone that's new joining me this Saturday, welcome, and we're going to continue our discussion on how to build your immune system and the different things that you can do to be peaceful and full of love. So last two sessions, we had Sri Charles, who's my teacher from Shantivilla Institute, and I'm the Atlanta campus of Shantivilla Institute. Shantivilla is located in Tuskegee, Alabama. So we're going to just continue the conversation. So as many of you know, I'm the Agnihotra lady, and I teach the Ayurvedic ancient wisdom of Agnihotra. And so I'm going to start off with doing a Baruti homifier to set a good tone of learning and understanding before we start this week's talk. I'm going to post the Zoom link as soon as I get done, and then if you want to have questions, you can call in, or you can also show your face and join in the Q&A we're having this week, okay? Boo swaha, agniye idamama swaha, vayuve idamama swaha, surya ya idamama bhurva swaha, prajapatiye idamama. And so this is a fire that we do throughout the day. It amplifies the effects of Agnihotra. We do it before we do, we utter this mantra before we do our full moon on Trumbakai mantra. And so anytime we're having an important meeting, we're meeting with someone, the Viruti mantra is what we do to go about with that. So I'm going to wait a few minutes to let some people join. And I am going to post the Zoom link now. I did post it on the previous post, saying, I think a couple hours ago, I said, hey, you know, anyone wants to join, let me just repost it underneath here. So let's see, where's information? Okay, so give me a second. I'm gonna give everyone a little bit of time to come on and get comfortable, get your pen and paper. Okay, and welcome in. Okay, give me a second, and I'm going to share this on a couple of the Facebook pages. Okay, so now let's share. So for anyone that's not familiar with me, I teach the ancient Ayurvedic knowledge of Agnihotra, which we perform in a copper pyramid. Now, this is not Agnihotra. Agnihotra is performed in the morning and at sunset. And what it does is a wonderful effect on the atmosphere, on the water and the soil. We use, I'll show you, we use dried cow dung. We use, I don't think I have the brown ones. We use brown rice, okay? And we use ghee. So it's just unsalted butter that we melt. This is the basic components, and then we say some Sanskrit mantras. And there's a flood of energy that gathers during that time. And there's power that we receive from the cosmos, and it has a wonderful, beautiful effect. It releases all the nutrients, and it purifies the atmosphere. It goes 8 miles up in 2-mile radius. And this has actually been scientifically proven to cleanse the air. It actually transforms pathogenic bacteria. As a lot of people may have asthma, other health ailments, it's really good with pathogenic bacteria. It purifies. You can use it to cleanse water. You can use the resultant ash to cleanse water. And let me see if I have some ash I thought I had some ash nearby. Hold on a second, let me get some ash. Okay, so this is the ash. This is the resultant ash. I'm gonna make sure that you all can see this. And this is what you can use for gardening. You can put some water in a gallon jug, set it out in the sun for 3 days, and cleanses the water. So there is no need to buy bottled water. And so a lot of people do Agnihotra. Millions of people do this Agnihotra around the world, and it has a very healing effect on the planet. And the saying goes that if you heal the planet, you heal yourself. And that makes sense, because if you think about it, we forget we are part of the planet. We're made of the same stuff as the planet. And so if the planet is ailing, then how in the world can we be happy and healthy? So in taking care of the planet, we take care of ourselves. So that is the basis of the Agnihotra, which is the basic home fire that we do sunrise and sunset. So we do this again at sunset, and this is when that flood of energy that I was telling you about, in the morning we have a flood of ethers and electricities and energies that we tap into, and at evening time it recedes, and that's when we repeat the Agnihotra practice at sunset. It's very healing. So for anyone that has any, we have people that use Agnihotra that have PTSD, the mood disorders, and they report having wonderful effects from doing the practice of Agnihotra. So it is very, very healing. And a lot of people are very grateful for this practice, because they don't want to be using a lot of psychotropic drugs and things like that. And it's just been a blessing for a lot of people, so they can get away from all of that. So what we're going to start with this week's discussion is going to be the way ions function in our atmosphere to keep a balance. And because ions have been disrupted, that's caused a lot of problems with, like I talked about, pathogenic bacteria and other things that happen with the air, with the soil, with our water. And a lot of people may not know what really the purpose of ions and the delicate balance that they keep for the planet. But I think it's really important to talk about these things, especially with a lot of things that are happening today. We have COVID-19, we have schools that are open, people that are getting sick, and it's not necessary if you understand what ions do, how they function, and when you tamper with these things, what that means for the planet, as well as for yourself as a human being. Human beings are meant to be a caretaker, to be caretakers of the planet. And I would say we're not doing a very good job of taking care of our planet, okay? We're human beings, and that's our assignment, to walk around full of love, to be the example for others, to walk in unity, to be compassionate, to be kind, to be forgiving, and to take care of the earth that has been given to us for us to live on, to raise our children, to be productive, to bring things to fruition. And so many of the things, especially in our modern world, is not geared towards that. And that's the reason why there's a lot of chaos going on. So I wanted to do these weekly talks every Saturday at 7 to really address these things and how they affect your day-to-day living, and let everyone know that you don't have to be in distress or despair, because there is a way to deal with that. And Agnihotra is a way to reset the planetary system and to have a deep healing and purification for yourself. Okay, so like I said earlier, you know, we're human beings. We're made of the same stuff as the planet. And so when the planet is ailing, then so too we ail as people. So we have to take care of the mother. We have to take care of the mother. We have to take care of the mother. Okay, so I'm going to get into the discussion of ions, and then I'm going to discuss specifically the mantras for Agnihotra. So I know everybody was saying they want to know about pronunciations, the mantras. Last week we talked about mudras. I may recap a little bit about mudras, and I did want to do a quick deep breathing exercise. There's a lot of stuff I'm trying to get into. For anyone that's I'm in Conyers, that's in the Atlanta area, you're welcome to come one-on-one for a socially distanced appointment. But I wanted to, you know, everybody's been asking about these things, so I want to try to you know, cover these things. So so we're going to jump into the talk about ions. So let me just share in a couple of more pages, because I started talking and I wasn't able to share. I'm going to share a couple more pages so everyone can watch, and feel free to share this yourself. You know, I would like everyone to be able to get the information that you probably won't see any of this stuff in mainstream media. Okay, you won't see it. So let's see here. And did I even post? Oh, okay, let's see. Did I post this in the right spot? Okay, well, I can't worry about that. I thought making sure that I posted the Zoom link in the right spot. Which I may not have, but if you go to my page, you can see how to, if you like to join the talk, you'll be able to see where I did post the Zoom information. And anyway, so let me go ahead and get started with the talk. Okay, so when we talk about the purification process of Agnihotra, we're talking about it being in tune to the circadian rhythm. There's a rhythm to everything. Okay, you get up in the morning and you go to work, and you have a certain time that you have to be there. Well, there's a certain time the sun has to rise. There's a certain time that sun has to set. There's a certain time that animals go to breed. There's a certain time that animals go into hibernate and things like that. And so when you are creating these technologies that tamper with any of these things, then you are really disrupting everything. So in science, there's a concept called man, microbes, flora, fauna. When you mess with one, then all of that I just said, it gets tampered with. Man, microbes, flora, fauna. So what has happened with our planet? So let me explain about ions. Ions, you have negative ions that are produced by the planet. 60% of those produced by plants. And then you have positive ions that come from the atmosphere and the cosmos. And so there's this balance that happens. This creates a balance in which we have plants growing, we have the way our weather system works, and all of that. This is based on the ions. So weather patterns with the different layers of the atmosphere, that is heavily dependent on ions. And actually plants and all of that, you know, they have to have that balance. So it's about a 5-to-4 ratio. Like I said, negative ions come from the planet, 60% of those come from plants, and the rest of those are positive ions that come from the atmosphere as well as the cosmos. So when we perform Agnihotra at sunrise, what happens is you get that burst of energy from the sun, and then the ions become balanced. And so now, because we have a variety of things that pollute the atmosphere, you even have space pollution. We have a space fence to actually keep out space debris. A lot of people don't know this, but you can look this up. But That tampers with the gravity, tampers with the atmosphere. We actually have NASA that does some sort of studying of weather patterns by putting in barium and lithium in the ionosphere. And even though they say that this has nothing to do with the air we breathe, that's part of our planetary system. So I beg to differ. Anytime you're tampering with any of those layers, things work synergistically. That's, you just simply don't say, hey, I'm tampering, I'm spraying this stuff up here. And you can look up, I'll send you the link. They have this on the NASA's website. They don't deny that they are spraying these things into the atmosphere. This is NASA. So they can, you know, so they can study the ions, okay, and the ions which are in our troposphere and the ionosphere. That's some of that sits on the edge of space. So they're doing all this testing. So with lithium, barium, and I forget the other thing that they use to test up in these layers of the atmosphere, but it disrupts the ions. Okay, so let's get deeper into this. So if the plants, which these are plants that we eat, that grow, that's part of the ecosystem, if they're genetically modified, they're genetically engineered, how does that affect their negative ion charge? Okay, so we don't know that. So you tamper it with that, and we have to have the 5 to 4 ratio that I mentioned before. So when you're messing with the ions, how does that affect the plants when you genetically engineer it? We're eating that. We're made up of ions too, of course. So how does that affect our bodies? How does it affect how we breathe, the air we breathe, and even how we think? And Sri Charles and I often talk about, you know, we breathe in 2,500 gallons of air each day. And so if you have tainted air, the very air you breathe, the food that you're eating, that you're ingesting, that becomes part of your body, your body becomes whatever you eat becomes your body. Then what is happening to your mind, how you think? You know, some of these people that are having very erratic behavior, they're being violent, perhaps is that a reason why? Is because we've tampered with the ions. The ions, which is the very recipe of what makes this planet tick, we've tampered with it. And I think I said the other week, you know, nothing is wrong with science. Science really is the search for truth. But any time, and listen to me carefully, everyone, any time that you are using technology, which is, you know, science, to destroy, is destroying and destroying, that's not true science. That is not the purpose of science. Science, the true original purpose is the search for truth. But if you're destroying in a process, then no, that's not science. So that's a little bit of background about ions. And I don't want to get overly technical with these things, but these are the building blocks of what makes the planets work. So now let's get into, and let me look to see if anyone's making any comments or anything, because on Zoom I can't exactly see what's going on here, but because I'm in the control panel, I'm not even looking at everything, but I don't want to ever talk technical, because I want to talk in everyday language so people understand what's happening with their bodies and minds. And so and when you have an imbalance of ions, you actually are creating stress and oxidation in your body. And if you're being affected this way, let me just pour some more in here, everybody. What do you think is happening to the animals? Okay, we already see, and if you talk to scientists, they tell you that insects are acting differently. All animal behaviors have been affected because of the pollution and the things that we do. Earlier I talked about space debris, which creates pollution, and even all these satellites we have floating up there, that affects everything too. Not to mention now they've rolled out the 5G, 4G, any of these things deal with the electromagnetism, the field. You can't tamper with that. You know, that is a DNA disruptor. And Agnihotra is a way to protect your DNA and reconstruct it. And that is a good reason for you to do Agnihotra every day. If you could do it twice a day, it'd be great. Because now we have so many forms of pollution coming down on the earth: light pollution, noise pollution, air pollution, I mean, land pollution, everything. It's just beating down upon your body. What protection do you have? You can do Agnihotra at home. You can do it even outside at your work, if you can't do it inside your work. But this is a way to restore the balance. And like I said before, it cleanses the air. It cleanses the water. It restores soil. Like I said, I use it for my gardening. A lot of farmers use it for planting. It is, oh gosh, things are very delicious, and it grows very fast, and it's easier to harvest. Increases the yield when you do what is called homa farming, which is I showed you the ash. Let me show it to you again for anyone that's joining. Welcome everyone if you're just joining in, and I will make sure to reshare the Zoom. Okay, so that is a little bit of history, background rather, of ions. Those are the building blocks of life, and when you tamper with that, you're tampering with the very recipe of life. And so many wise ancient teachers from years ago, they knew that we would be having these problems now, because the arrogance of man to think that we can perfection, that we can perfect what God has created for us. And is, you know, we have all these things that are happening. And really, what are we really doing? I mean, we're supposed to be doing things to magnify and to be thankful for all these blessings that have been bestowed upon us, this beautiful planet, the rivers, the trees, the food that we have access to, our families that we're raising on this planet. And we create these things that are destroying. And so when you're talking about being able to think and be full of love, having pollution, having the ions disrupted, it does affect how we evolve as human beings, how we connect with our higher selves, our higher consciousness. And so all of this intellect that we have, we're so intelligent, we know all these things. The intellect has made us dumb. It's not taken us to that higher level. You know, in deep inner work, the ancient ones taught, you go beyond the intellect. You go beyond what to you is a man-made construct of your intellectual pursuits, your intellectual prowess. We go beyond that. Your intellect is transformed to you going into this higher intuitiveness, this higher awareness. But it can only be done if you're purified, and part of the purification process is to have a clean and healthy planet. Okay, so when we're talking about purification, we're talking about saying kind words. And kind words start with having kind thoughts, purified thoughts, and having your actions be of love and kindness too. It's kind of hard to do that when the air is polluted, when you're drinking tainted water, when everything you're around has broken down to things that affect how your brain functions. Okay, so please know that intellect is what got us into trouble to begin with. Okay, so I don't care, you know, what degree you have, how smart you think you are, in the pursuit of your higher self, the highest self that the Creator wants you to go towards. Intellect has nothing to do with it. If we're so smart, why can't we solve all the problems that we have right now? So think about that. So if you want to question what I'm saying, think about all these smart people you're smart too. Why haven't we been able to solve all these very serious problems, especially now? And for us to be the children of the Creator, created in His image, we should know that the intellect does not serve us if we're not going to our higher selves. We have to go beyond that to that higher intuitiveness where the real knowledge comes from. So a lot of things that I'm talking about will bring about peace and tranquility for you. Agnihotra would help keep you calm. You'll have a deeper meditation. You won't want to argue with friends and family, and even co-workers. You'll be more loving and peaceful. And that actually, that the actions of love brings about a higher vibration for the planet. Okay? That there, love is a vibration. It affects your body, it heals you, and exudes. Actually, the planet can feel when we, the people that reside on the planet, are full of love. Oh, the plants, the soil, the animals, they dance, they feel that vibration when we're happy. And we have joy just exuding from our hearts. When we're smiling, we're really happy. When we're stressed out, the planet can feel that too. And that adds to the stress of the planet when we're chaotic and we're arguing, okay? So this is not about religion. It's not about your color. This is not about religion. This is about you being a divine being that walks in love and light, because that's what we were created for, to be filled with love. We are love machines, okay? And so the planet can feel when we're full of love, when we're compassionate, we're forgiving. And remember, forgive yourself first, okay? Then it's easier for you to forgive others, okay? You're more compassionate, okay? You get away from ego. You're not vain. You're not attached to material things. You have this deep love and understanding of your fellow human being, okay? That's where your liberation comes from. When you can have that and genuinely want to pass that on to your neighbor, even the one that doesn't treat you so well. That's what we have to do in these challenging times. And getting back to the immune system, all of that affects your immune system. If you're walking around full of hate and anger and you're arguing, your immune system is weakened. We now know scientifically that when you're walking around with hate, you're poisoning your system. You might as well just drink a glass of arsenic, okay? But when you have love, it's flooding all your cells, your DNA is happy, your cells are jumping around. That is when you heal yourself and you heal those around you. You don't have to utter a word to the person that you think has this grudge against you. They may be racist, you may think they hate you or whatever it is. But if you act in a loving way, even when they're not loving, that does have an effect on them, whether they say or act like it at that time. So that's very important. So Agnihotra, so now we're going to go into the pronunciations. So I'm going to try to move around here because I want to get to the deep breathing. And so for anyone that saw the Mudra demonstration, let me just hold up the Mudra book that we sell at Shantivilla Institute. This is the Mudra book, and we did a demonstration on the Power Mudra, the Prana Mudra, and I'll do a recap at the end if I have enough time. But this is the Secret Science of Mudras, and I'll recap that. But for people, I forgot to put it up last time, but this is the book that we sell. And I'm also do workshops on mudras for anyone in Atlanta that wants to do a social distance 101 class. But we have a variety of different books for sale if you can't catch the Zoom and Facebook Live. And thanks once again for everyone that's joining. Okay, so now we're going to go into the mantra pronunciation. So for morning Agnihotra, so let me get into the mantras real quick. So we chant Sanskrit mantras, because Sanskrit is a very high vibratory language. And we're talking about vibration. I just talked earlier about the vibration of love. That vibration, it reverberates all around you. So we use Sanskrit no matter what language you speak, because it's high vibration. It just sinks deep into your DNA, and and you don't even have to do Agnihotra. You can just chant mantras throughout the day out loud to yourself. It does something wonderful. You do that all the time to your body. It actually helps block those negative things out of your mind. So we chant Sanskrit mantras, and so for meanings, we don't do an exact word for word translation, but it's just different ways of saying God. You know, to God, we have this offering to help the earth. With this offering, you know, God, everything's for you. We do this to restore the earth. That's basically what the mantra is saying every time you say it. So what you do is, and let me get the rice. I know I forgot to get something because we do use brown rice. So I'm just going to demonstrate. This is not Agnihotra because Agnihotra only happens at sunrise and sunset. But let me just demonstrate how we do it. Sorry, I didn't have all my stuff set out here. I obviously I can't film in the meditation room. If you've been over here, I have a meditation room. But we use brown rice. We use brown rice, once again, cow dung, and then we use ghee, which is unsalted butter, which we boil down a couple times, about 20 minutes. So for Agnihotra, what we do, let me get this, let me do the pronunciation first, and then I'll lean over here and demonstrate how we do it. Every time you hear swaha, we'll dip some rice into the fire, but the sunrise mantra is Suryaya Swaha Suryaya Hidam Namama Prajapatiye Swaha Prajapatiye Hidam Namama. That is sunrise. So what we do is we get a little bit of rice, and this is how it actually goes. So after you've lit your fire, your cow dung, you spray ghee on it, you put it inside your copper pyramid. We use copper. So it would go Suyaya Swaha, some rice. Suyaya Hidam Namama Prajapatiye Swaha Prajapatiye Idam Namama. So that is the sunrise mantra. For sunset, and mind you, this is not Agnihotra. I'm just demonstrating. It's not Agnihotra time yet. So this is rice for anyone that's joining. We brown rice that we put every time we say swaha. So for sunset, the mantra is Agniye Swaha. Agniye Idam Namama Prajapatiye Swaha Prajapatiye Idam Namama. So we always tell people when they come visit Shantivilla Institute or Shanti Atlanta that don't worry about pronouncing perfectly. It's in your heart. It's for the intention. Okay? So that's the basic Agnihotra mantras, sunrise and then sunset. And so last week Sri Charles was talking about the other times in which you can sit and receive power to your immune system. So he talked about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. This is in addition to Agnihotra. So you can just sit and be quiet at those times, but we actually do fires at those times. So you can start at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and there are mantras that we do. So and we light a fire and we do those mantras. It actually boosts the effects of Agnihotra in the purification process. And so at those times, the reason why we have 5 o'clock, 10, 12, 3 p.m. in addition to the sunrise and sunset is because the sun changes its position, and there's a boost to your immune system at those times, a natural boost that happens because the sun is changing its position. So this is a scientific principle. Nature has a way of restoring itself, which means it has a way of restoring anything that's not quite right with you as a human being. So at those times, 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, this is in addition to sunrise and sunset. Just sit still for a second if you can't do a fire. But if you would like to learn those mantras, I can go over those at some other time so we could talk about boosting the immune system. So at those times, when you are sitting still, if you light the fire, and we have specific mantras that we do, then you are restoring that ionic balance that I talked earlier about ions. You're restoring that balance. And there's a boost that happens to your immune system. Just like there's a boost when there's a full moon. We have fires that we do for full moon. There's a boost that happens during new moon. And there are fires that we do there too. So, and then real quick, for the full moon, what we do for that mantra, like I just did the Varuti mantra, we start off with that, and then we do a full moon mantra. We try to do, in Shantivilla, we do 24 hours of fire there. And I'm not able to do 24 hours of fire. I don't have enough people coming to Shanti Atlanta, but the more you can do sit for mantras there, then your immune gets in even more of a boost. And then you build up the purification also in your environment. Like I said, it goes 8 miles up and 2-mile radius. So I will show you what we also do. And full moon can be done anytime. It doesn't have to be just done on new moon or full moon. You can do it anytime during the day. So how we start off with that is we go, U swaha, agniye, idam namama, bwa swaha, vayave, idam namama, swa swaha. Suryaya, idam namama, borgava swa swaha, Rajapataye, idam namama, Om Shambhakaya Jamahi, Sugunhim Vishtivadanam, Uvarikamivadanam, Mektamikshi Hamamata Swaha, Om Shambhakaya Jamahi, Sugunhim Vishtivadanam, Uvarikamivadanam, Mektamikshi Hamamata Swaha. So if you notice, for these homa fires, we don't use rice. We just use the cow dung and the ghee. You do not use rice for full moon or any of the other fires, full moon or the Vruti homa. So we always start off the Vruti homa, which I said first, and then we go into the Trambhakai mantra. So those are some of the basic fires that we do. So if you do Agnihotra all the time, then you can do the other fires, like I said, at 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, in addition to your sunrise and sunset. And you'll find that if you garden or farm, things will be very happy, growing so lovely and beautifully. You know, your grasshoppers will be dancing, your pets will be happy, and anything you grow will be, it'll increase the yield, cut your harvest time, and you don't have to do as much weeding. And you can see that anyone that visits the garden out here in Shanti Atlanta or Shantivilla, you'll be able to see that things grow very abundantly in a homa atmosphere because it's a purified atmosphere. And you'll find that you will be purified, you'll be happy, you'll be kissing and loving your family, you won't be arguing as much, okay? You'll be very peaceful. So let me actually see, let me pause for a second before we start the breathing. What time is it? 7:42. I'm going to do the breathing demonstration. I'm doing quite a bit here. I think I'm trying to do too much stuff in here, but I wanted to, everybody's asking all these questions, and if you want to do a private Zoom talk with me, just privately, we can do that too. But I wanted to cover this. Everybody's always asking these questions, and you may not be able to get to me. But feel free to DM me. You can email me at shantiatlanticenter@gmail.com. And what's my phone number? 404-487-8156. And then my website is healthpluslifestyle.com. Okay, so before we get into the breathing, because I wanted to just do a recap. So this is the Mudra book, everybody. For those that joined last week, Sri Charles and I, we were talking about and demonstrated mudras. So there are mudras that you can do anytime, whether you're meditating or just sitting still or whatever. And you can do these a way to restore your body. And there are different mudras for different things that your body is going through. And so this is an ancient science, and it's done by putting your fingers in certain ways. And so last week, Sri Charles demonstrated the Power Mudra. Okay, and it looks like this. Can you see it? You put your ring finger and your small finger to your thumb, and then your middle finger and your index finger straight out. That's the Power Mudra. And this helps with your immune system. It helps with, if you have eye trouble, it helps with everything. It helps with your blood, keeping your blood vessels nice and healthy. It helps with everything. But it's called the Power Mudra because it deals with the pranic life force that runs through your body. And so, as I explained before last week, and so mudras, we work with the hands because it's based on the 5 elements. So in your one hand, you have 5 fingers, and that's because it's based on the 5 elements: earth, wind, fire, ethers. Yeah, did I get them all? Earth, wind, fire, ether. Anyway, did I miss one? You all know the 5 elements. I got a lot on my brain. Yeah, I think I did miss one. Okay, I'm gonna have to look in the Mudra book just to make sure I said all the 5 elements. That's crazy. Yeah, earth, wind, fire, ether, water. How could I miss water? Okay. And so that's why we use each hand. Each of the your 5 fingers represents those 5 elements. And so you have about 4,000 nerves that go into your hands. So when you do this mudra, you're activating the nervous system, the nerves there that travel to the rest of the nerves in your body, and this creates the balance in your body. And so there are different mudras. So the secret science of mudras, we have many mudras in this book, and you can order this from Shantivilla Institute. And then I'll be posting on other books and other products that we have that you can use to help with pain. But like I said, the prana mudra, or the Power Mudra, is this also called, this is dealing with your life force. It's great for your immune system. It's great for, like I said, if you have eye trouble. It's good for your capillaries and blood vessels and all that. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful mudra. And we recommend that you do it twice a day, 15 minutes each day. And you can do this while you're meditating or not. Okay, so now, so these are tools in your cosmic clinic. Okay, this is like what you have in your first aid kit or your own treatment center at home. Let's call it that. And remember, the Cosmic Clinic is always open. As Sri Charles and I said, the Cosmic Clinic is a clinic that you can access as a human being anytime. You write your own prescription, and this is an Ayurvedic system, ancient system to keep you healthy and happy. Okay, so now moving along, 7:47. So what I want to do is I want to now do a breathing exercise with you guys. And so many people don't realize the importance of breathing properly. We're not talking about regular breathing, but we're talking about breathing techniques that can take away pain, that can flush toxins out of your organs. It can help with asthma. I believe Dawn, who I interviewed first, was talking about it helped with her asthma. And she actually used breathing to help with, she had COVID-19, and it actually helped with that. She used Agnihotra actually to treat and get rid of the COVID-19, her asthma, her diabetes, and she also had a depression, bipolar issue. It helped with that. So breathing can help with all these things and then some. So your breath, as we're taught in the Ayurvedic wisdom, the Ayurvedic system, is it's a lever for the mind, okay, to bring your mind to the highest level of awareness and beyond the mind, okay? It's the lever. Once you conquer the breath, you conquered your physical body health, and you actually are going into activating your plasma body. We have this physical body, but we also have plasma body or art body, whatever you like to call it, that you activate with deep breathing exercises. And so what I like to start off with before we even get into, I'm going to teach bellows breath, and if we have time, cleansing breath. I like to teach first is being aware of your body as this train system with these electrical impulses. That's how you're able to lift your arm and to rest and do all these things. So let me see if you can, this is how I normally do it. So I don't know if you can see everything, but I just want you to sit comfortably and just relax your entire body. Relax your head and just close your eyes. Relax your face, your neck, your shoulders, and just breathe gently and just become very aware of your body and just feel your breath going out your nostrils, then coming back in as you inhale, and just going through your body. Just become aware of the breath as it travels through your body. We're so busy that we forget to be still and just listen. And you keep your eyes closed and just listen. Listen to your breath. Your breath going as you inhale and you exhale. And so I want you to just sit still for a moment and just feel the breath. Okay, now, still with your eyes closed, I want you to put your arms out and just notice how your arms feel when you hold them out. And then I want you to just let them drop real quick. See, that's energy. It takes, even for that simple movement of holding your arms out, notice how you feel when you just let your arms go real quick. Keep your eyes closed and just breathe in, breathe out. And notice how limp your arms feel. Okay, just sit and just feel the breath in your body, keeping your eyes closed. Just relax and relax. Okay, now I want you to, in your chair, if you're sitting in a chair, I want you to feel your energy as you're sitting upright, because it takes energy just even to sit upright, okay? And now I just want you to collapse over. Keep yourself folded over on your knees and just feel the energy go out of your body. Just feel that. Have everything released. Just your limp, and just feel how your body feels as you're still breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, so now we're ready to go into the breathing exercises. So we always start with that first because it's good for you to become aware of the physical part of your being. The physical part of your being is just you. This is what you're housed in this physical body. But your plasma body, your auric body, as some people call it, that is part of the other awareness of your you apart from your body. Your body is not you in totality. That's just your human form. And so doing the deep breathing, we really want to get you tapped into that deeper self, as well as healing, okay? So now we're gonna get into the basic bellows breath. Now, bellows breath, you can do it slow or fast. And if you do it faster, it gives you a lot of energy. Do that first thing in the morning. If you do it in the nighttime, you can do it slower. And it's a way to bring your body back down to a slower pace so you can go to sleep. So what we're going to do, and let me tilt, I'm going to tilt the camera down because I want you to be able to see the stomach action, because most people are not breathing properly. And when we talk about deep breathing exercises, we're talking about specific things to activate the various organs in your body and to reset the nervous system and get your respiratory system cleansed out. Okay, so what we're going to do when you breathe in, your stomach goes all the way out. When you exhale, your stomach goes all the way in. So inhale, stomach goes out. Exhale, stomach goes in. Let's demonstrate one more time. And your mouth is closed. So inhale, stomach goes out. Exhale, stomach goes in. So let me pull this up. So this is what it looks like. You're gonna, if you want to do it at a normal pace, it looks like this. And let me, so you can see the stomach. Now, if you want to do this quicker, then it will sound and look like this. Remember, inhale, stomach goes out. Exhale, stomach goes in like you're pushing all the way to your spine. That's a basic bellows breath. So we instruct everyone to start off by doing this for start off with 5 minutes. If you have asthma, definitely sit down and pace yourself, but build up to try to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Don't do a whole lot at the same time, because you can pass out, especially if you do it quickly. So I would say do it at a regular pace. Breathe in, stomach out, breathe out, stomach in. And if you want, put your hand right there so you're aware on the inhale, stomach is out, exhale, stomach in, and your eyes are always closed. So it takes a while to learn this. And normally when we teach this, it took me a year because you think you're breathing the proper way and you're not. So that's the basic bellows breath. I don't have enough time, let me see what time is it, to teach the cleansing breath. There's a series of 2 cleansing breaths that we do. It's a combined high cleansing breath routine that is powerful. And you can add it on to what I just showed you. You can start off by doing the cleansing breath and then end it with that. But I don't want to teach too much at the same time. Like I said, if you like to come visit Shanti Atlanta, we can do a one-on-one, or we can do even a one-on-one Zoom or Skype. And so I believe I covered everything. I covered mudras, breathing, and I talked about, let me make sure because I had some little notes on things that I touched on. I touched on everything. And I just wanted to say that everything that I'm talking about with Agnihotra, Agnihotra is a tool for purification for the planet, for yourself, and that you are to be reminded every time you breathe, every time you talk, you're interacting with people. I want to remind everybody we have to be aware that we are divine beings. This is our divine heritage, to be full of love and light. That is our divine heritage, and the Agnihotra is a way to bring about that remembrance of who we are as divine beings. It is our divine heritage to be full of love and light. And so everything I'm going to talk about every week is based upon your loving nature as a divine being, as a creature, and being in the image of the Creator, okay? And not to be scared, and that being filled with love, that's the way to be, and that's excellent for your immune system. So along with eating healthy, making sure that you have clean water. You can use the ash from Agnihotra to have clean water. This is a way to help restore the balance for yourself and the planet. So once again, thank you so much for joining the Agnihotra Lady today. If you have any questions, feel free to call or email me. You can reach me at healthpluslifestyle.com. I'm on Facebook, on Shanti Atlanta. I have a Shanti Atlanta page. My phone number is 404-487-8156. And then my email is shantiatlantacenter@gmail.com. And I want everyone to have a blessed evening. And then I'll see you next week for the next episode of the Agnihotra Lady.